Hello, good evening, friends. How are you? Today, I have come to talk you about everything that you should know for NATA, the entrance test for architecture. Now, friends, you must have been thinking of coming up with certain options as against architecture, or maybe you are in line of doing an architecture course. I will be talking you something more in relation to the admission process and who all are architects. Now, first and foremost, the test. The National Aptitude Test for Architecture, the Council in the year of 2006 started National Aptitude Test in Architecture, NATA. Now, as a nationwide single test for admission to the architecture, and this test replaced individual tests carried out by each institution and subsequently, of course, reduce the hassles, anxiety, money, prospect, etc. Now, friends, as per the Council of Architecture, Minimum Standard of Architecture Education Regulation 2020 prescribed by the Council, all candidates seeking admission to the architecture program are required to qualify an aptitude test conducted by the Council of Architecture. Now, before we go into the details of all this, let us also talk who is an architect. An architect is a gazetted officer. Now, who all are the gazetted officer for your understanding? Gazetted officers are doctors, principal of all the schools, lecturers, professors, and principal of all the colleges. In fact, the gazette that is published by central government has got the names of these people. They are the gazetted officers are also the lawyers, chartered accountants, all these people, and of course architects about whom we are talking right now, because they are registered in Gazette of India. And remember one thing, all these construction, whether you talk of bridges, roads, canals, or the buildings, they cannot be passed by any authority unless it is endorsed by an architect, a gazetted officer. So an architect is of course stand a very high position in social status. And friends, to get into this course or get into this stream, you have to have one who has passed NATA and 12th grade examination with PCM. Now, this PCM is an inclusion after 2017-18. Um, that PCM was required to to clearly get admission into an architecture course. Architecture courses are conducted by about now um, more than 650 colleges all around India, out of which about maybe somewhere around 26, 27 are government colleges. They do have got something more um, to clear. That means you have to clear JEE um, conducted by IIT Powai Mumbai, and of course NATA is a mandatory for both, whether you are going in government colleges or in private colleges. Right now we are talking about NATA. NATA is for all the private colleges that you are seeking an admission into for a 5-year degree course. You should clear NATA examination with good percentage. Of course, there is 50% weightage of NATA and 50% weightage of the higher secondary score. And let's see what all are the dates left out. NATA second attempt is going to be conducted on June 3rd, 23, and NATA third attempt July 9th, 2023. Remember one thing, best of the two. And in case you have already given NATA number one, that was first attempt, then and you are going to attempt all the three, are you going to take all the three attempts, then they will take an average of the three examination. So I will suggest for most of you all, it will be much healthier if you go for only two attempts, and best of the two will be counted for your admission purpose. NATA questions scheme. Now, once you are convinced that you are going to be a gazetted officer, you want to do, you have already completed your 10+2 with PCM, and you are taking up one of the NATA examination. Then we come on to the NATA question scheme. The aptitude test for NATA has got multiple choice question like MCQ with 4 options. Now, what I have noticed in the first attempt, that they were question with 4 answer, out of which maybe one answer is correct. Last time I was a little skeptical about whether they are going to give 1 mark or 2 mark. Now I'm very clear some of these questions have got 2 marks and some of them have got 1 mark only. Even with a diagram, if they are asking just a simple thing, they are giving 1 mark. And in case, of course, if there are 2 answers like multiple select question, that is MSQ, the second one, then you have got 2 marks for it. Okay, 2 correct answer, 2 marks, 1 correct answer, 1 mark, but in some of the cases, 1 correct answer, 2 marks. Okay, then numerical answer type, NAT, with multiple options, say 8, 10, 12 questions. And then you have got observation-based question based on images shown for 45 seconds. These definitely have got 3 marks. Okay, so that's how the scheme is. Then, of course, there were preferential choice question in last year. This year, they did not ask any preferential type choice question or match the following type MFQs type. That also were not asked in the first attempt. The question will carry 1 mark, 2 marks, or 3 marks, and 125 questions have to be answered in 180 minutes. The medium of aptitude test will be essentially English language. So, friends, today we have talked about the type of questions, the who all are architects, etc. And we have talked about the scheme of the examination. I have also listed some of the type of questions here, like they may give you a question based on identify the architect and their works. That means the whole chapter, you should read about all the famous architects of India and all around world. You should also read about their structure, their works that they have done. Particularly give importance to the Pritzker awardees. The Pritzker awardees are the ones which are maybe honored once in a year by the association, the Pritzker Association. So you give importance to them. From India, there has been only one Pritzker awardee, that is eminent architect who recently passed away in January of 23. architect B.V. Joshi. Recognize architectural structure. I'm talking of the number two. So these architecture structures generally are from the architects who are famous. So you should be able to, or the famous buildings, and then you retrospectively find out their architects. Identify through blueprint is another very, very important arena where you should work on. And identifying a blueprint is slightly more difficult than just identifying a building. So you pick up best of the 50 buildings that you may know and try to find out their blueprints, which is a plan, which is a plan, is a two-dimension design. And through that, you can recognize the building and structure and give answer to the question. These are 3 marks questions. Then, of course, while studying, you should also know the elements and principle of design. For MSQ question particularly, study of the structure is out of the AAT, Architecture Awareness Test. Identify the features of architecture, architecture again, AAT questions. Then Gestalt principle and logo design may also add up a couple of numbers to your overall tally. Color theory is very important, friends. What I've listed as the eighth one, color theory. This is an important aspect that you should study about. You should study about color theory, color perception, and color terminology, the terminology related with the colors. Then different architectural style like the Byzantine, the Renaissance, and all that. Then, of course, you should also study about visual perception and its terminology. I cannot forget a couple of very difficult words that had come in NATA examination, like the basalt effect, the um, chromosteropsis. Those were the words came as an alien 2 years back, 3 years back. Now, of course, I'm sure you have studied them. If you haven't studied them through anybody, you can come down to me and we can talk about all the visual perception terminology alongside the terminology of architecture. Next is observation-based images and questions. Those are again from, I would say that is the GK of the visual perception. So friends, these are the listed topics that I would suggest you to really get on, and there is nothing to mog up. It's only to look at the images, try to understand the things, look at the terminology, try to understand the terminology, work it out, who's what and what's who. Good news for you, 8th May, 21 days course master classes. That's with us, the Creative Edge top ranker. And to contact us, 7676564400. I wish you all the best for your NATA test. Either you take it on 3rd June or 9th July, or you take both of them. Thank you very much, friends. It has been Rajendra Bhatia talking on behalf of Creative Edge top rankers, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye. Oh, let me see some of the question. I'm so sorry. Venkatesh Doniparthi asking when can we expect JEE B results? Generally, Venkatesh, this comes pretty late after almost maybe your second or third attempt of NATA. I think you asked it twice because I was talking to all of you all. I don't see any other immediate question. So friends, see you maybe next time, or otherwise you can come and uh, in contact with me through 7676564400. Now, bye for all.